Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Oracles. Today you're joined by me, the Tech Oracle, and we're going to dive deep into what is going on in the EU regulations that are being discussed regarding crypto payments and digital assets in general. So, on the 14th of March, the European Parliament voted to leave out explicit language that would have banned proof-of-work-based digital currencies due to their energy consumption concerns. This is part of a bill that is being drafted, to meet the objectives of the European Green Deal to lower carbon emissions by 2030. However, crypto proponents remain wary, as the draft text provides an alternative in a way that crypto assets still have to be subject to minimum environmental sustainability standards. The proposed action after voting to leave out this language is to include crypto asset mining activities into the EU taxonomy by 2025. Now, what is the EU taxonomy? The EU taxonomy is basically a green classification system that translates the EU's climate and environmental objectives into criteria for specific economic activities for investment purposes. So it's basically classifying a number of activities that are sustainable or unsustainable. And this meant for companies and investors. Companies, if they wish, can reliably use the EU taxonomy to plan their climate and environmental transition and raise finance for this transition. Financial companies, if they wish, can use the EU taxonomy to design credible green financial products. Investors are free to choose what to invest in. However, it is expected that over time, the EU taxonomy will be an enabler of change and encourage a transition towards sustainability. So this is a very important classification, a very important taxonomy for companies and investors, and could be a framework for other countries as well. But so far, so good, since the controversial language has been left out. Now, there are more news, actually. The EU Parliament passed privacy-busting crypto rules that were subject to industry criticism. More than 90 lawmakers voted in favor of the proposal. And what is the proposal about? The proposals are intended to extend anti-money laundering requirements that apply to conventional payments over 1,000 euros to the crypto sector. This means that these laws already exist for fiat payments over 1,000 euros. And they're just being extended to the crypto sector, with one difference though, which is they scrapped the floor for crypto payments. So payers and recipients of even the small crypto transactions would need to be identified, including for transactions with unhosted or self-hosted wallets. So every transaction, every crypto payment you make in Europe, you would need to be identified for that. Further measures under discussion could see unregulated crypto exchanges cut off from the conventional financial system. This is massive news, massive news. As we mentioned before, the European Union is one of the largest markets in the world, and their regulatory frameworks are also influential for the rest of the world. So if, these regulations are very, very important for consumers, such as crypto, for all crypto holders in general. So Brian Armstrong, who is the CEO and co-founder of Coinbase, has published a Twitter thread to comment on this, and I'm just going to read it out loud for you. So he says that the latest draft by Parliament of the Transfer of Funds Regulation. And by the way, the Transfer of Funds Regulation is basically a regulation that aims to prevent payment systems from being used to launder money or finance terrorism, which was first applied to traditional payments systems in 2015. So it is not new, but it's being extended to cryptocurrencies, as we mentioned before. Every crypto transaction, and not just those with a 1,000 euros threshold, as is the case with fiat, would be travel rule eligible. This means before you can send or receive crypto from a self-hosted wallet, Coinbase will be required to collect, store, and verify information on the other party, which is not our customer, before the transfer is allowed. Moreover, anytime you receive 1,000 euros or more in crypto from a self-hosted wallet, Coinbase will be required to report you to the authorities. This applies even if there is no indication of suspicious activity. This is massive, massive, massive news, because it underpins your privacy as a consumer. As he says, imagine if the EU required your bank to report you to the authorities every time you paid your rent merely because the transaction was over 1,000 euros, right? Or if you send money to your cousin to help with groceries, the EU required your bank to collect and verify private information about your cousin before allowing you to send the funds. How could the bank even comply? The banks would push back. That's what we are doing now. So obviously, this has further implications. In fact, the FTR's reporting regime will create massive personal data honeypots, vulnerabilities, both within private crypto companies and government agencies. That will result in your personal data, name, home address, being linked to your public blockchain addresses and your entire on-chain transaction history. Criminals would see exactly how much crypto you own and could start attacks, both virtually, hacking, phishing, for example, and physically. As this Twitter thread as well mentions, it is not just about your privacy, but these rules would be detrimental for financial freedom and inclusion, harmful to the competitiveness of the EU, and negative with regards to law enforcement, AML, and consumer protection. So the only reason why this proposal is being passed is not at all for money laundering reasons. It's because institutions want to preserve control or even enhance control over your crypto payments, how you spend your payments, and they just don't want to give their power away. In fact, there is this interesting report made by Ledger, which actually explains that so chain analysis found that only 0.15% of cryptocurrency transactions in 2021 involved some element of criminality. Of that, money laundering accounted for just 0.05% of all cryptocurrency transactions volume in 2021. On the other hand, so this is very, very low compared to all the transactions that are made by crypto, right? On the other hand, the UN Office on Drugs and Crime estimates that up to $2 trillion, which is 5% of global GDP, is laundered every year through the traditional financial system in fiat currencies. So using these figures, the amount laundered through fiat currency is more than 232 times greater than the amount laundered through crypto, which is obviously ridiculous. Let us know what you think in the comments regarding the proposal being passed. Do you think this is about money laundering, or is there another reason? Do you agree with the proposal? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like the video and subscribe as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.